Hello and welcome back to the JW Thoughts channel. My name is Wally and today we are doing the culty, creepy convention clips critiqued and condensed and consolidated for quick, convenient consumption. God, I hope I got that right. It's a real mouthful, so it's hard to remember. We are looking at the convention drama that just hit. So don't forget to drop a like on this video if you enjoy the content, subscribe. With all of that being said, let's do this. Okay, I gotta be honest. Sam Mendes, I think he did Skyfall and what else did he do? Road to Perdition, but 1917 was that war movie he did where it was basically just one continuous shot. And I thought it was really cool. I liked that style. So Watchtower's coming in really hard here. They have a banger of a song and they have like this one continuous shot going from high and then following the people around and then going and then ending on. It's really, really cool. So yeah, shout outs to Watchtower. Maybe we're actually going to be entertained. I know the concepts and the content are going to be actual garbage, but at least stylistically, it's kind of fun and enjoyable to watch. So hey, we're off to a good start here.
Hey, Dad, what type of wood is this?
This is Tamboti. You know, Jehovah made it strong and durable. Hey, just like you, my Ombi.
Just like you, Dad.
Now, this is something that bothered me even while I was a Jehovah's Witness, whenever they attribute everything to, oh, it's God's design. You know, you're watching a David Attenborough show and everyone's like, oh man, God just designed it so perfectly. And even as a Jehovah's Witness, I would think to myself, so God designed like these diseases and plagues that kill millions of people. I guess he designed those perfectly as well. It doesn't make any sense. And I just didn't give it enough thought to really allow myself to sort of have those doubts when I was a Jehovah's Witness. But they're like talking about this piece of wood. Oh, look how well it's designed. And yet, 2 seconds later, a hurricane could just come through and blast millions of people, displacing people, killing thousands. Well, was the hurricane well designed too? You have to account for these things if you're going to attribute the beauty of the Jehovah's design and making it strong. You have to account for it in totality of everything in the world. You can't just look at it in these little tiny vacuums.
Oh, Maombi. How are you, sir?
Nice to see you.
How are you? From sir.
How you doing?
How was your day? Oh, good. How about service? Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Papa Moose, are you still coming for dinner tonight?
Of course. Guess what? He's staying for family worship too. Inuko will drop me off when we finish. Okay, thanks, Inuko. You know the invitation is still open for you.
Thanks so much, Amani.
Yeah? Okay. All right, brothers. You brothers have a good one. Okay, see you soon.
Say hi to the family.
More often than not, they are giving actual depictions of what it's like working at a witnessing cart, because you're just standing there doing absolutely nothing. And I know I always say this, but every week for 8 hours for an entire year, I went to downtown Seattle and stood by a witnessing cart. And most of the conversations I had were with Jehovah's Witnesses that were walking by. It wasn't with people interested in the message. It was other Jehovah's Witnesses from out of town or that lived in the area, something like that. I even talked to some people that they would, because they didn't want to talk to the people standing at the cart, they would walk an extra block, to route around the cart, because it's oh, it's such a chore and people know I'm a witness and I've talked to them before, so then I'm going to have to stand there and talk for 10 minutes because they're so bored and desperate to talk to anyone. So they would actually plan their day around having to avoid carts, because there's nothing ever going on at witnessing carts. It is one of the most ineffective methods of preaching that Watchtower has ever come up with, but it does keep people busy. But it always gives me a good laugh whenever I do see Watchtower accurately depicting what it's like at the witnessing carts.
Hi, Thoraja.
Hey, Sifa.
Oh, thank you. Oh, how are you doing?
Good. How are you two doing?
Oh, the baby kept me up all night.
Oh, kicking again, huh?
Yes. How's the family doing today?
Oh, we're doing good.
Oh.
Can you get some water for
Amani is
Okay.
making dinner. We have family worship today too, so
Oh.
yeah.
You and Amani are such good parents. Always teaching. Oh.
It takes a lot of patience and practice. But don't worry, you're going to be a great mother. I can already tell.
Thank you.
And you won't be alone. We'll be here to help you. We want to help you teach your child about Jehovah. You're part of our family now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When I talk to people that have never been Jehovah's Witnesses, they often don't really believe me when I say everything about someone's life is centered around this organization. Every single thing about you is prescribed, and Watchtower is the doctor writing this prescription. And this to me was a perfect example of it. Baby's not even born yet, but they're oh yeah, we're going to help you raise it to love Jehovah. It starts quite literally in the womb, before the kid's even born. The friends, the family, everyone is oh man, they're going to make such a great elder and a pioneer. They're going to be a special pioneer one day. It is every single thing about your life is what you can do for the organization. And here's a clear example. Someone's not, you before you're even born, you are getting everyone lined up to try and help you to be a better Jehovah's Witness. It is everything about your identity is what you do for Watchtower.
Sifa.
Hey, Amani.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. Are you gonna be staying for dinner?
No. I just wanted to say hi. Are we still on for our Bible study tomorrow?
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. All right. See
Okay.
you.
Bye, Sifa.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
See you.
You're doing so great with her.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see her get baptized.
I pray so.
Yeah. Let me go finish up dinner.
Okay, I'll come inside and help you.
Well, obviously, I've exposed myself here. I haven't actually watched this all the way through yet, so I'm just giving you like my raw reactions to things. But boy, oh boy, it's even worse than what I said, because that lady is not even baptized yet. She is not baptized yet, and yet her Bible teacher is talking about how they're going to raise her unborn child to love Jehovah. It's even worse when I start making fun of Watchtower, but I haven't actually watched the entire video. It is so hilarious to me that somehow they are able to make it worse for themselves than my dumb criticisms that I bring, which I think is absolutely hilarious.
It's Uncle Dania.
Hey.
Uncle Dania, how are you?
Wow, good. How are you? Good. Wow, growing tall every day.
Dunia.
Donia. That's my brother.
Hey, so what brings you by?
Came to see the family, of course. Plus, I wanted to bring you a gift too.
Oh.
Yeah. And now we need to talk. Have something for us to talk about.
Okay, kids, let's go. Let's give them some privacy.
Okay.
You don't have to bring a gift every time you come to visit.
I want to, my brother. Here.
This is nice, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is too much.
Amani, this is nothing. I actually got an upgrade. You can use this one.
Okay.
I'm glad you like it. Amani, there's something we have to talk about. Let me ask, how steady has your work been lately?
One thing that I've noticed about myself that took a while to, let go of, and I see in just thinking about my time as a Jehovah's Witness, was this idea that if someone is successful or if they're generous, they're somehow flaunting their wealth or they're just inherently a bad person. No one is ever happy for someone that is successful. Like if they get a new car or a new house or something, it's always like this sneering sort of response to it. Like, oh, you don't really need that. And I think it can affect people after they leave the organization, because once you leave and you realize, oh, wait, if one of my friends, gets a promotion or they get a new house or get a new car or whatever the case might be, you can just be happy for them. You're like, man, that's so cool, dude. Like, that's awesome. That's great. You can be happy for other people. And yet when you're a Jehovah's Witness, it's all of this sneering jealousy and negativity surrounded something that is completely normal. Trying to make a better life for yourself is just a normal thing. It's the hallmark of our species. We try and make gradual improvement.
My carpentry work has been slow, but we're getting by. Mombi and I, we sell wood carvings at the market for some extra income.
Wow. Amani, look at what you've done on our land. You're a good carpenter. You built this house. And you have a beautiful family too. If Mom and Dad were alive, they would be very proud of you. You know what I'm thinking, Amani? With your skill set, you could have more. I'm talking about real security for you and the family. A real government carpentry contract See, just look here. This is the amount we can be making.
Yes?
Yes, for real. All you need to do, Amani, is just...
Yeah. No, not a party card. You know I can't sign this. Wait, you didn't sign me up, did you?
I know what you're thinking about, Amani. See, you don't have to involve yourself with the political leaders. You don't even have to attend any of the rallies. You know what? Forget it. I'll take care of this one. Basically, you'll be working for me. So don't worry about the card. All I need you to do is just sign here. And this becomes a reality for us. Amani, you know I love you. And if you become successful, I will be very happy. I have to get back. But just think about it. And think about the family too.
This to me is a sign that maybe Watchtower, the people in charge of Watchtower, don't even know about some of their own scandalous history. Because why would you make this video? I've already gone into detail. I made an entire video. Here's the thumbnail for it. But it basically what happened in Mexico and Malawi, and how Watchtower had a double standard about a one-party political card, and people died. People lost everything. People were brutally beaten. People were sexually assaulted for not signing this political card in one country. And in another country, they said, yeah, sure. You know what? Even better. You can actually bribe the government in order to get that card, so that way nothing bad happens to you. And the difference, the reason there was a double standard here, came down to the governing body and a 2/3 vote, and them not having enough votes to change a policy one way or the other, because this guy was in Italy giving a talk and this guy was in the Caribbean giving a talk, so they can never get a 2/3 vote about the whole situation. It's actually mind-blowing. If you haven't seen that video, go check that one out. It explains, everything going on here, and I'm sure I'll be referencing it a few times, no doubt, going forward, because this looks like it's going to be a theme. But I truly wonder if Watchtower just isn't aware, or the, maybe not Watchtower, but the people that are making these videos, and they have this idea like, oh, we should have this. And they go to the governing body, or, the helpers or the writing committee or whatever the case might be. And they go to them, and it's not like those men are going to be like, well, we can't make this video because of this scandalous past that we've had. They're not going to shut down the project and say, oh, no, sorry, this is going to be really scandalous and look really bad for the organization if you go ahead and make this video. So maybe they just say, sounds good, lads. Thumbs up. Keep on keeping on, brother. I don't know. Anyway, the other thing that's a little more funny to me is when I went to the memorial this year, I was reminded of how annoying it is how Jehovah's Witnesses are always touching your shoulder. Everything is the shoulder touch. And just when they were talking, it was just like they were like playing tag with cement shoes. Like, tag, you're it, tag. Like, they just kept touching each other's shoulder. But it's a classic Jehovah's Witness thing. The elder, hand on the shoulder, tilted head, slightly softer voice. Like, it's such a trope at this point. But anyway, boy howdy. Watchtower, you're either dumb, tone deaf, or you just don't care.
So, tonight, we're going to continue with our study of the account of Joseph. Remember last week we discussed how Joseph was wrongly accused, and yet he was able to make peace with his brothers.
Thank you, Dad. She needs to hear this.
Papa Musa.
Yes, may I share a verse that has always meant a lot to me?
Please do.
This is one of my favorite.
Now, aside from the lighting that was pretty cool in this shot, I just had to giggle at someone raising their hand. It's just a weird little phenomenon. I don't know, maybe it's not unique to Jehovah's Witnesses, but I assume it is. I've never seen anyone raising their hand to ask a question in just a normal situation. But they're here sitting around at doing family worship in the living room, and there's like 6 people in the room, and it's like, this is not like a press conference or ever. I'm sure that a few adults and a couple children can work out the proper etiquette for just starting to talk when someone else has finished talking. Anyway, that just kind of tickled me a little bit.
Psalm 37, verse 5. Commit your way to Jehovah. Rely on him, and he will act in your behalf. For me, this is exactly what Joseph had to do. But do you remember how long Joseph had to endure slavery and imprisonment in Egypt?
13 years.
Yes, Maombi. Even longer than you have been alive. So, what helped Joseph to be patient all those years? Well, think back to the verse. Commit your way to Jehovah. Joseph didn't know how everything would turn out, and a lot of things were out of his control. When Joseph committed his way to Jehovah, Jehovah always acted in his behalf. Even in prison, Jehovah was always with him. If we prayerfully rely on Jehovah, Jehovah will act in our behalf.
And this is all fine and cool, except for that it isn't. Because when it came to it in Malawi, did Jehovah act on their behalf? Did he rescue them? Did he keep people safe? Or did thousands of people have horrific, unspeakable atrocities happen to them because they trusted in the Watchtower organization? Again, I think this is just another example of how Watchtower must just not even know their own publications, really. I mean, well, let's actually do the experiment. Let me look and just type in Malawi and see what pops up. According to Watchtower's own publications, it says intense persecution of Jehovah's Witnesses on a national scale began in Malawi in 1967. Then many witnesses were savagely beaten and some were murdered. Hundreds of their women were some repeatedly. Thousands of their homes, stores, and places of worship were looted and destroyed. Their Christian activity, including their peaceful meeting to study the Bible, was banned, as was all their literature. Last year, 1972, another wave of persecution broke out. This time, it was even more severe than the one in 1967. The beatings, burnings, lootings, and murders were on a much larger scale. The witnesses were deprived of their livelihood, fired from their jobs. Indeed, a countrywide effort was made to destroy the 23,000 of Jehovah's Witnesses in Malawi, so they were forced to flee for their lives. So, where was Jehovah? Where was his protection when all of this was going on? And remember, the reason, the real reason all of this was happening was because a group of men in New York City couldn't get a 2/3 vote on changing a contradictory policy that was in place. This is disturbing.
That's a beautiful point, Musa. Thank you. So, children, how can we apply that verse today?
Well, we can pray to Jehovah for courage, just like Joseph did in the original song.
Can we sing it tonight?
Yes, Zawadi. A little later, though. But you're right, Maombi. Prayer is very essential, especially for a family, if we're going to endure these last days.
What about Uncle Dania? Does he pray to Jehovah?
No, maybe. But we can look into his heart.
Yeah. Musa taught us both when we were boys, so he knows about Jehovah. But no one can make him love Jehovah.
Yes, I remember those days. Your father and Uncle Denia, they were trouble. Both of them were so independent. I wish I had done more to help Dunia.
I'll apologize in advance, but Rant Wally is incoming. Independent thinking. As this guy says, oh man, they were so independent, I wish I had done more. No, independent thinking is a good thing. It makes you more creative. It helps you solve problems. It doesn't mean that you're some stubborn, insufferable, pugnacious person that is unwilling to hear other arguments. No, it just means that you are creative. You're willing to look at multiple, facets of a problem and find the best solution. You're willing to go against the norm and say, well, maybe we could do things differently based off of analysis, based off of facts, based off of logic and reason. It's so incredibly stupid, and I think it's important for all of us to realize what was done to us growing up. Because when we were Jehovah's Witnesses, this was the actual final boss. This was Calamity Ganon, terrorizing Hyrule. Independent thinking. That Watchtower is so scared of independent thinking, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They are holding people back from being the best versions of themselves. So shaking this off and learning how to think for yourself, how to be willing, based off of facts, to go against the grain when you're like, no, this group think is a bunch of nonsense. I'm out. Yeah, I don't know.
Free shirt. Take this one. This one fit you.
No,
Take this one. This one.
thank you.
Show your support for
No.
Bakari, man. Show your support for Bakari.
Appreciate it. No, thank you.
Man, I got one shirt for you. Just for you. Free shirt. Free shirt.
Come on, Maombi. Free shirts?
Can you believe those people? What in tarnation is going on around here? Free t-shirts? That's ridiculous. What you really need to do is offer people the opportunity to have a pet tiger, lots of watermelons, never get sick. If you fall off a cliff, apparently maybe your legs don't break or anything like that, and you get to live forever. Now that is a reasonable sales pitch to walk up to a random stranger and make. But a free t-shirt? Pfft, disgusting.
Dad, can I play some music?
Yeah, sure, grab it.
View 93.6. As an update to our report from yesterday, militia groups are threatening to take over the capital. Violence has been escalating in the area.
Nah,
Now let's go to our correspondent.
there's no need to worry.
The ground at the scene of the
Okay.
latest rioting.
But will they come here?
No, these are just threats, rumors. There's nothing to it. Listen, change the station. Why don't you play us some music? Oh, yes.
This was so funny to me because it really identifies what it's like being a Jehovah's Witness, where you don't worry about real problems, real issues in life. You just try and put on the back burner and pretend like they don't exist. And you just like, well, just change the station. Don't listen to that. It's a big old load of rubbish over there. We don't need to. Let's listen to some music and start jamming. These kids like, yeah. It's just not a healthy way to not address issues and problems that are real, that can really affect your life. And no doubt those problems are going to affect their life. Maybe they should have had their finger on the pulse of the political climate of their country, because I reckon things are about to get real bad.
We humbly come before you in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, brother, so much for making the time to come tonight so we can talk about an important matter. As you are aware, the branch has recommended that we meet and discuss the possibility of civil unrest in our area.
You know, just yesterday, the marketplace was buzzing.
There will always be rumors surrounding the elections.
But I even heard of some reports on the radio.
I want us to see what the threat is in our area and what we can do for the friends so we can help them if they decide to flee.
Wait, did they direct us to leave or ask us to think about it?
Well, they have advised us to have a plan. The way people are feeling about the current leadership now, it's just a matter of time that a conflict will come in this area. The safety of the congregation is the concern.
Yes, I agree with that. And, I've heard about the violence of these militias towards other tribes.
But is it worth alarming the congregation? Has anyone actually seen anything out of the ordinary here?
This is serious. Where there is smoke, there's fire.
I'm sorry. That's what I'm trying to say. Telling the friends to flee now? Brothers, I've been through this before. And trust me, there isn't even smoke yet. Doesn't this seem a bit hasty?
Yes, Musa.
Brothers, we may differ in our opinions. But remember, we are still one body.
Well, of course, they're all going to have differing opinions because everyone's situation is a little bit different, and they need to figure things out. The Jehovah's Witnesses need to figure out what's going to be best for their family. Now, if there's one universal thing, again, I'm just going to keep coming back to the situation in Malawi, but if there was one unifying factor that was harming people, it was the fact that the governing body didn't change a stupid rule, a stupid policy that they weren't even enforcing in a different country. Them being Jehovah's Witness was the thing that was harmful. And that is like the hard thing about like watching things like this is they talk about, we got to do what's best for the friends. We got to do what's best for the congregation and protect people. And yet when it comes to protecting people, the Watchtower has a horrible reputation historically about truly protecting their people, and they do things for really silly reasons that they might just decide, hey, new light, and change in a couple of years anyway. So Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of painful to watch, but hey, at least this guy is consistent with raising his hand. Maybe they did this on purpose because he is a very respectful person and doesn't like speaking out of turn. But he is a real company man, that's for sure. Hey, we might have differing opinions, but we're one body, and that's really what it means to be a Jehovah's Witness. No matter what happens in the world, guess what? We need that unity, baby.
Think about the times that we live in. These are the last of the last days. So we expect that these conditions would increase. Proverbs 22, verse 3. Remember, it tells us, the shrewd one sees the danger and conceals himself. So it is shrewd to prepare the congregation mentally and spiritually.
Thank you so much, Musa. You've helped us to have a unified thought in this matter. So if it is okay with you, brothers, I have an exit plan. I brought a map of our territory and where the brothers and sisters live and where they can flee to. Let's look at it together.
Well, I think we need to start a drinking game whenever they say the last days. Maybe you have to do a double shot because whenever they say the last of the last days. But I do find it funny that in these dramatizations, it always has to be the bitter elder that doesn't agree with everyone. And he doesn't just sit there like a normal person and like actually maybe give arguments for what he believes in or try and like double down and, you know, really express why. I mean, he did before, obviously. Well, I've been through this before. There's not any smoke. There's not even smoke here. What were we worried about fire? But they have to do the slow zoom in shot.
Time for bed.
Okay.
You want your bed?
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, big guy. It's getting late. Time for bed.
Okay.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Amani, wake up. We have to go right now.
I've been through this before. And trust me, there isn't even smoke here.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I keep thinking about what my family experienced when I was young. We had to run for our safety. At least that's what we thought we were doing. But when we left, we lost everything. For what? For nothing. And just like that, the conflict passed. That was it.
Is that happening now? Would we have to flee?
We received direction from the branch. Those brothers are so far away, though. I keep wondering if they are being overly cautious. Maybe for the brothers in the city. But for us here, is that the right decision?
I don't know. Would we have to go to a camp?
I think about Musa. He would not be able to make such a trip.
I'm thinking about Sifa too.
You know, around the elections, these tensions always seem to pop up. But overall, Things are pretty stable around here, don't you think? I mean, Dunia offered me a contract. This work is guaranteed.
Money. This is more money than we've ever had.
This could be a blessing from Jehovah.
We wouldn't have to scrape by.
If we were to leave now, this opportunity will go with it. The door will be shut. The whole point of us building this house was to give our children a better life. I just don't want them to experience what I went through.
Money, I'm worried.
Trust me. In a couple of weeks, this thing will just blow over.
You think so?
Yeah, just wait. You'll see.
Well, we've dialed the drama up to 11, but the acting down to I don't know, like -1. It's pretty bad out here. But the message here is clear. Jehovah's Witnesses need to trust the branch. Even if they're far away, they're out of touch, they don't understand what the local situation is, they always know best. They know what to do, and you should trust them no matter what, which is pretty disturbing, honestly, when you think about it, because why are we training people to trust some dudes that live in a different area that don't know the current local situation? Why would you trust them to make the right decision for your family? But that's exactly what Watchtower wants people to do. Trust them no matter what, even if it doesn't make any sense.
Amani?
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Oh.
Your brother sent me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the stools, right?
For the stools.
Let me get them for you.
Yes. Your brother said you did good work.
Of course, I do by myself. Got my tools right here.
Nice.
Yeah, here you go.
How much for 4 of them?
For the 4, 105.
105. Can we do 100?
You know, I'll take 100.
100? Okay.
Okay, appreciate it.
All right.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Greetings, Faraja.
Papa Musa.
Children, how are you all?
Good.
How are you? Wonderful. Look like you're ready for school, huh?
Now pack your book bag so we can go, okay?
Okay. How are you, my dear?
Good.
It's good to see you. It's a beautiful day. Jehovah is good to us. I was wondering, is Amani in?
No, he's putting in another long day at the market.
Ah, shame. I was hoping I could talk with him. Yeah, he's been on my mind lately.
You know, I'm kind of worried about him too. All this talk about fleeing is bringing back a lot of bad memories for him.
Yes, I remember those days. It was tough on them.
Yeah. But it looks like things are calming down, getting back to normal, so I'm thankful for that.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to Amani about. You see, some of the family heads, they're deciding to leave.
Really? Why? Do you think things are getting worse?
You never know about these things. But we have to remain watchful.
This is News Radio 93.6. As an update to our reporting from yesterday, the leaders from both sides have agreed to meet and discuss bringing peace to the region. The talks are set for tomorrow morning. Now let's go to our correspondent who's at Studio B. May we ask, what led up to these negotiations? What can you tell us?
Yes, many have been fleeing the violence to find safety across the borders. But with peace talks,
don't know why the guy said he'll take all 4 stools, but then only walked away with 2 of them. That was a little bizarre. And then I also found it curious. I mean, I'm no expert here, but I just wondered when the kids were wearing their outfits, their uniforms for school, if that was indicative that maybe the school was actually built and is run by a different religious organization. Because as we know, Jehovah's Witnesses don't ever build schools in poor countries or anything like that. So it would be really funny to me that they are going to like a Catholic school or something, because maybe that's the only school in their area. And I don't know what they meant, but or maybe I'm just reading into things a little bit too much here. But the overall theme here is just odd, because to me, if you want to make a better life for your family, if you don't want it to be how it was for you, why can't you just, take the contract, set your family up for, a better future, and then if things get bad, couldn't you also flee if that was the last, case scenario? Like, that's just what you had to do. I don't know why it's like this big dramatic thing. It's like, well, just you can take the contract, and if things don't work out or you end up having to flee, then you could just flee, because unfortunately, it's a horrible situation where people have to leave everything behind. But I don't see why there's like a conflict here. Why couldn't you just do both, especially because your brother is sort of acting like a proxy for you, so that way you don't have to get the political party card or whatever. So, I don't know. Very confusing stuff here.
You got this?
Yep.
Let's do it.
What's up?
Columbi, we need to go.
Dad, we just got here.
I know, but we're leaving.
Amani!
Dunia.
My brother, how are you? You have to meet this man. Bakari!
No,
Bakari!
Dunia, wait. I wanted to talk to you about it.
You meet him first.
Dunia, my man.
Yeah, that's my brother.
So, you are Amani.
Yes.
I hear you are quite talented.
Very much.
Thank you.
We're excited to work with you. And that must be your boy.
Hello.
Yeah. Are you ready to work with your dad before this new work and huge contract coming his way? You are our country's future. Remember that.
Thank you. Listen, Dunia, I'm sorry. I appreciate this offer, but I can't accept it.
Talk about a, hey buddy, did you just blow in from stupid town kind of moment. He is just putting a target on his back, on his son's back, and his brother. Like, you could have said something in a text message, anything, but why do it in front of when there's all this political unrest? Why are you making it a point to be like, I can't really accept the offer in front of the guy? Are you just dumb? What in tarnation is going on around here? I hate whenever I'm watching something and people are just making really horrible, poor decisions that make absolutely no sense. Like, okay, if you don't want to accept, you don't have to sign the contract. You can tell your brother in a text message, anything. But why choose this moment, right here, right now, that you're going to do it and put everyone's lives in greater danger because of this?
He doesn't know what he's saying now. We can still work out the details And then he'll come back. He's okay.
See all those people out there?
Yeah.
They would love to work with me. This is not an offer you refuse. And you said this was all done and you had it all covered.
He'll be fine.
Fix it! And don't waste my time.
Dunia, you have to let me explain.
Explain what, Amani? How could you embarrass me like that in front of him?
You don't understand.
Understand what? This is a lifetime deal for the family. You see why I don't bring big contract to you? I can't believe you. How could you refuse that?
Hold on.
In front of him. I can't believe this.
Jacobo, you there?
So now John Morant rolls in with his crew of dubious ruffians and they're brandishing some weapons. So, yeah, if you are a Jehovah's Witness, you would have a better Jehovah's Witness. You would have been smart and listened to the branch and gotten out of there earlier. So, yeah. I think this is like, as far as the quality of the video goes, like just camera angles and things like that, I would say it's probably the best one that we've seen to date. But as far as the storyline goes, I guess we'll see where this bad boy leads off to. We got to follow the yellow brick road. But yeah, as far as storylines go, cool. Listen to the branch and you won't get run up on by some political revolution. I don't really understand, but hey, we made it through part 1, so that'll be it for today, and we'll try and pick up on part 2 tomorrow. Anyway, if you're still around, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. And you better have a good ass day.